You're listening to Clearly Conspicuous, a podcast series brought to you by Holland & Knight's Consumer Protection Defense and Compliance Team. Here at Holland & Knight, we have the working knowledge of how federal and state agencies operate and how courts address consumer protection issues to effectively work with our clients to address these issues.
Welcome to another podcast of Clearly Conspicuous. As we've noted in previous sessions, our goals in these podcasts is to make you succeed in this governmental and regulatory environment, make you aware of what's going on with the federal and state consumer protection agencies, and give you practical tips for success. As always, it's a privilege to be with you today. Today, I'm going to provide a very high-level outline of the key consumer protection issues in 2026 that will likely get the attention of the Federal Trade Commission and state attorneys general. As we look toward next year, consumer protection enforcement is entering a more mature, coordinated, and structured phase. The Federal Trade Commission and state attorneys general are no longer focused solely on isolated misrepresentations or technical violations. Instead, they are asking deeper questions about how businesses are designed, who knew what and when, and how systems shape consumer outcomes. First, let's talk about privacy and data security, especially for children and teenagers. The protection of children and teenagers online is the moral and rhetorical centerpiece of modern enforcement. Regulators now scrutinize targeted advertising, algorithms that provide recommendations, behavioral profiling, and data retention. The focus has shifted from breach response to preventative design obligations. Number 2, social media advertising, influencers, and platform accountability. Key concerns include undisclosed influencer relationships, native advertising, algorithmic amplification of deceptive claims, and platform accountability. Disclosure clarity on mobile platforms and advertiser oversight are central enforcement themes. 3, clear and conspicuous terms in online consumer transactions. Regulators emphasize transparency in subscriptions, auto renewals, cancellation practices, hidden fees, and dark patterns. Designs are increasingly treated as a consumer protection issue. 4, nonprofits that fail to serve their missions. State attorneys general aggressively enforce laws against misleading charitable solicitations, governance failures, and misuse of funds. Nonprofit status does not insulate organizations from consumer protection laws. 5, individual liability for executives and decision makers. Executives who knew or should have known about deceptive practices or unfair trade business practices face personal liability. Investigations now routinely examine internal communications, board oversight, and compliance systems. 6, contests, sweepstakes, and promotional compliance. Violations often include improper disclosures, registration failures, and illegal lottery structures. Cross-state promotions invite multi-state enforcement. 7, artificial intelligence and algorithmic accountability. Artificial intelligence claims are scrutinized under traditional deception doctrines. Regulators expect reasonable governance, testing, and transparency, not perfection. 8, data minimization, retention, and post-breach conduct. Regulators now question why data was collected and retained. Post-breach conduct, notification speed, remediation, and transparency heavily influences enforcement outcomes. 9, fees, pricing, and junk fees. Hidden fees and unclear pricing structures remain a top priority, especially where comparison shopping is impaired. 10, buy now, pay later, and alternative payments. These products face scrutiny for disclosure failures, debt accumulation, and data use practices, coordination among regulators is increasing. 11. Environmental and wellness claims. Greenwashing and unsubstantiated wellness claims are expanding enforcement frontiers as consumers rely much more heavily on ethical and health representations. Finally, 12. Multi-state coordination and structural enforcement. State attorneys general increasingly coordinate investigations, amplifying enforcement risk. So folks, here's the key takeaway. From statements to systems, regulators now evaluate how companies operate, not just what they say. Systems, governance, design, and individual accountability define consumer protection enforcement in 2026. So please stay tuned to further programs as we identify and address the key issues and developments and provide strategies for success. I wish you continued success and a meaningful day. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Clearly Conspicuous. For more information on our Consumer Protection Defense and Compliance Team, visit hklaw.com/CPDC or email anthony.diresta@hklaw.com with any questions about today's episode.